welcome.
Thank you, Smriti, for inviting me to this chat.
Yes, wonderful to have you. So Bhavana is a financial controller at Signode India Ltd, based in Hyderabad, and she was one of the first participants of Mind Over Matter in 2018. And I've invited her. She's one of my most experienced alumni. So I've invited her to share her experience. So Bhavana, but before we do that, please share something about yourself with us.
I'm basically a chartered accountant by profession. I have been with Signode now for almost 8 years, and was in different roles in Signode.
Right.
I joined, or rather, I was sponsored for Mind Over Matter.
Yeah, right.
I was handling finance controller position for one of its business verticals, which is equipment and tools, and I'm still with them.
Okay.
The finance controller for equipment and tools.
Wonderful. So, Bhavana, when you came for Mind Over Matter, what was your experience? Overall, what was the impact of the program for you?
Yeah, honestly, when I started off, there were many other leadership trainings and all which I had attended. So I thought this would be one of it. But over a period of time, I found it was a difference. It was not more on leadership, but balancing your thoughts and your beliefs, and to come out of the regular thought box and thinking and
Yeah. So we are often caught in our usual way of thinking, and what I'm hearing you say is that it allowed you to think a little differently.
Usually I get emotionally involved with whatever I do. So now I've started learning to balance it.
Right.
To hold on whether I should react or not, and in case I need to react, how I should react, and not allow others to take what would you say, advantage of my situation.
Right. So yeah, okay. So it's allowed you to have almost like a assertive position.
Yes, sort of.
Yeah. Okay. And Bhavana, if you were to share any 2, 3, I mean, you've shared one, but any other learning that or any other experience of Mind Over Matter which was very beneficial to you?
There were many aspects of it which I had gone through, and it was new thought process for me. But basically, one thing which was there, that you need to give self importance to yourself. It is for your development. This program is,
Yes.
or how you need to develop yourself.
Right.
So it was through this that I learned you don't have to wait for others to recognize you or to appreciate what you do. If you are confident with yourself that what you are doing is right, you need to go ahead.
Right.
The other things would follow.
Yeah.
You don't have to be low because what you are doing is not being acknowledged or
right.
met. It is not only professional life, but others' life also.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So if you start giving importance to yourself, your thought process, and how you mold yourself,
yeah,
the others also would like change their thinking along with you.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is so true for women in all walks of life. You know, sometimes we wait for others to appreciate us, but we can own our own importance, our thought process, and the value that we give to others and to ourselves. So that's very insightful. In terms of any little changes that you made or any big changes that you made, anything that strikes you as different from how you were before and how you are now?
Yeah, there were many things during the 2 days of workshop that I had gone through or found it new. And but then basically I did not select any one particular thing or one aspect of the coaching to mold myself or change myself. Just the thought process that I am important. I am what I am.
Right.
How do I take it forward and do better for myself? Because I took it from self-development.
Right.
One of the aspect that I would say is like basically I am an introvert. I do not talk or express myself. But later I started slowly putting my views across diplomatically, not hurting any people, but my views I would register.
Right.
I was taken what is left to others. But it is not that I earlier used to hold on to it, not express, and then would say I should have at least said that.
Right. And that's a huge shift, Bhavna, because you are holding a senior position. You would normally want to be measured and considered in how you respond. But the fact that you are no longer holding it within and you are expressing it is letting go of any kind of limitation on yourself. How do you feel about making that change?
It is like you do not have to think about again, go back and see what if I would have done it this way or that. It's not there on my mind anyway. It doesn't play.
Yeah.
Yes, it's not that every time you express your views, sometimes you have to be diplomatic. But where it is required, if I have to put in something which would make it um, a better contribution, I do not hold back.
Right.
So that's the thing. And then that guilt feeling doesn't carry with me that I should have said.
Right.
I'm done with it and it's closed chapter.
Absolutely. And I'm sure that makes a difference to the quality of work that's being done, because you have this, wealth of experience. It enhances everybody's contribution, not just yours, because you made a choice to speak out your mind.
It's just a small contribution that I can make to myself and to the organization.
Yes.
Spelling out something which is on my mind.
Right.
Though I have learned to put it a little diplomatically,
Right.
which I may not have done earlier for how it was, but I feel yes, I've come a little further than what I was.
Absolutely.
I reflect on what I was earlier.
Right. And we talk about creating a more resourceful version of ourselves and a more powerful identity, and that's the journey, right? So you're saying you've come a little further on that journey. I'm very happy to know that. And Bhavna, in terms of the coaching session that we did online, what benefit did you get out of that? If you recollect.
I think that was the turning point of the improvement that I could bring into myself. Little, I do not say that I have made tremendous changes, but whatever I have made, it's the coaching session. When it started, I thought it would be 10-15 minutes and I would be done with it. But then the probing questions which you started, you got point on one of my weakness, something which I would have said, and started probing onto it, made me open up, or rather introspect of what I was going through and be more open with you. I don't recall, but at that point of time, I must have thought it is much more easier to open up with a coach or a third person than known people. So I must have been waiting for it. I don't know. One-to-one that we had that day, you did not give any suggestion. It was left to me of how I would develop myself and take it forward. That was the turning point of the whole thing, or rather the program. Not even think about it. It just happened. I opened up myself, and then whatever I said, from there it went on. It became a subconscious.
And I remember you. I think that after the program, you were in a lot of thinking mode. And when the coaching session happened, you were ready to share what was going on in your mind. And I also remember you saying that I don't think I've opened up so much to anyone about all these things.
Yes, that's what. And usually you do not open up to your friends or families much.
Absolutely.
So, this must have been in waiting. So that it's easier to open up to a coach than to someone else.
Well, I'm glad it did.
A lot. Thank you for having patience of probing and allowing me time to find solution for myself.
Yes. And that is the job of a coach. And, that's a big difference between being a mentor and a coach. A coach will never advise you, because we believe that each one operates from their own model of the world. And therefore, what works for me may not work for you. And therefore, advice is irrelevant. And also, all the solutions lie within the individual. So that's the reason why coaching does work. Bhavna, if you had to motivate or recommend this program to anyone, to any other woman, what would you want to say to them?
I would rather say, like, if someone wants to develop themselves, come out of their inhibitions or limiting factors. This is a one uh, program which will allow them to think, rethink, go back to what have been their old beliefs, thinking, and make a new you.
I believe it does, but coming from you, it kind of reinforces my belief that the transformative work does happen. Thank you so
To
much.
say, since it has been conducted for women,
Mm.
women find it much more easier to communicate to each other because a woman would understand a woman's problems or issues.
And there is a certain ease in being able to open up in a environment which has got women, and it's also, I think, it also helps that you are not the only one going through these issues. There's so many other people going through issues, and I think there is a advantage of doing it only for women. I mean, I'm sure the program can work for men as well, but the environment that's created is helpful. Yeah.
Sure.
So thank you so much for giving your time today, and I wish you continued success. And I will see you in Mind Over Matter 3.0.
Very much for that. I would look forward to it. Thank you for inviting me for this session. It was my pleasure. Talk
Most welcome. Good to see you and catch up with you a little later, Bhavi.